close data. So we're gonna go over 10 pairs, top-down analysis. Everybody go pick one or two, right? We're gonna look for all the available trades that could be potentially on those pairs. So you start from scratch, right? So right now we're looking at Euro USD. Mostly using supply and demand, you could if you have any questions, go ahead, like you can mute your mic and up to you, right? So the first thing we will do, we go draw the supply and demand zone and the monthly supply and demand zone on Euro USD, right? I'll pick a color for this. Monthly, we put a monthly top here. Right? All right, so here we have the monthly supply and demand for Euro USD. All right. Draw a trend line, you get a trend line break. So we have valid demand here, right, on the monthly time frame. And we have valid supply here, right, on the monthly time frame. So now we had to assess who's in control, supply or demand. See if the participants are right. So we know, all right, demand in control on the monthly time frame. So what does that mean? That means we go in, we want to look for longs, right? No, we had also spike up and down some volatility. I'm guessing this is corona volatility right here. So you see how on the daily time frame, we had a market reacting to daily supply, right? We're going to put daily supply as monthly. Daily supply blue, monthly demand purple, right? So right now, daily supply in control. However, the market reacting off a monthly, right? So we know the original plan is to look for longs. That's the original plan, looking for longs, because a higher time frame, the man is in control, right? Yeah, for those of you who just joined, we were just doing some top-down analysis. And so far, we established that the monthly demand is in control. So we're looking for longs on the for a long-term bias. But on your USD, the market is reacting off of daily supply, right? So, we normally do higher time frame analysis, right? So I ain't gonna pressure nobody and ask them, where to go long or short. I ain't gonna pressure all you to do, all right? But we know, let me just write this out, because I believe this is going to help you out. We know, here's what we established so far. Monthly demand in control. price is reacting, right, off daily supply. So just this basic information, monthly, we know monthly demand is in control. A higher time frame always has the most influence. So even though the price might drop now, the real and true direction of the market is up, right? Based on higher time frame analysis. So we could probably take some short-term shots to our long entry, right? So let me look for the best entry if we were to go long, because whenever you approach the market, you want to look to see where you would find your possible buy and where you would find your possible sell, right? So if we had to buy this, where would we buy it? Let's see. We have a daily drop-based rally here, right? We could say that this was a daily supply zone that was removed. You would only understand this if you're paying attention in the last few classes. We have this is base drop, right? Basing candle here, drop consolidation away. And we also removed this zone here, which was a previous demand zone, right? Now, as I said, this will only make sense here if you learn supply. So, where is the next valid demand and where is the next valid supply, right? Because that's basically the bread and butter of strategy. So here we have the drop-based rally for daily demand, which is also nested in monthly demand, right? So really and truly, the best place for a high probability entry on your USD, just using supply and demand, would be here, right? Entry here, stop loss below, and you take profit. Would probably be to the moon, right? But you know what? Let me dive a little deeper to see what other confidences we have in this neck of the woods. So we're going put a broken line for our trend line because the trend line is broken. We know this is daily supply, right? So let me just probably highlight the quarterly levels. So 10700. I'll just see which one aligns. 1750. 1, 8. Alright, so we have a nice little quarterly level at our entry, right? We can just leave that right here. $1.08. Why the text not showing? All right. Maybe we can see what the Fibonacci tells us. Okay, so we know we have several confluences to enter in this area. So we know this is a high probability area to go long, right? So what we're gonna do, we're gonna wait for the market to retrace to this area to go long. So let's say You see, normally when you find zones like these zones are kind of like magnets for the price. Like, as the price want to go up, the price want to find money to go up. So we know the money is down here. So this is going to be like a magnet for our price, right? So if you would like to, short it down to the entry, where would be the best area to go short? What do you find out? You find the lower time frame supply and demand zone, which would be here, right? Sorry. 4-hour supply and demand, right? We also have some support and resistance nested inside this zone right here, right? So this 1 hour supply, 4-hour supply is valid because the trend line was broken. Let's see what the Fibonacci would say. Right, so we have a 61.8 in the highlighted area. So yeah, the chart looking a little dirty right now. But once you have an understanding the way the market going, then you could clean it up, right? So here's the idea. We're going to either go short if the price come up to this supply and take it down to re-entry demand, right? We could already see a nice little head and shoulders pattern coming up right there. Or if the price just continues to go lower, then we would wait for it to take it up once it hits our demand level, right? Because yes, monthly demand in control, and daily demand is also there. So I'm gonna run this back. I'm gonna run this back because one, Nicholas just joined us. Two, I feel like this is a valuable analysis I just gave, so I know some people go want me to run it over. So if anybody want me to run this analysis over, type something in the chat, or you want us to move on to the next bit. Of course, run it again. All right. So we go run it over, right? Understanding is only seeing shots. So we start from the top, right? Now, whenever you're analyzing the chart, don't afraid to delete everything and start over. Because when you delete everything and start over, you might spot something you didn't see before, right? So EURUSD, you're on a monthly time frame. So the first thing you want to do is find your monthly supply and demand, because we know that is the most valuable confluences, right? So you could either use your trend line tool, okay, the last lower highs here, right? So we know, boom, monthly demand, right? So we use the other tool to draw to the last higher highs on the latest uptrend, right? And then boom, we find the valid supply zone, right? So now we have a monthly supply and we monthly demand. So we have we higher time frame supply, we have we higher time frame demand, right? So now we had to establish who's in control. Who's the last person to throw their money in the market, right? Demand, the buyers, right? So right now the market reacting off of demand. We can see the market reacting off of demand. So we know now demand is in control, right? So our long-term bias, we know the market going up. So it's up to us to find the best entry, right? Now here we had a little up and down candle here, which was a little scary. It looked a little scary, but say what? So let me drop down. We're on a weekly now, but we could drop down. We could drop down some more, right? We're on a daily. So what we want to do now is establish, okay, what's going on with the price and where is our daily supply and demand levels, right? So what we do, we search, right? So we use the trend line, draw to last. Okay, so we know this level. This was a demand that was removed, right? So no longer valid, right? Who removed this demand? This original supply. So let me change the color to monthly demand, right? We put the monthly demand. So we have the origin of the move that removed this demand here, validating the supply zone. So we know the supply zone is valid. And then we also had two drop-based drops, which also removed the demand, right? So we see that this supply was removed. So I'm going to put it in gray. And who was responsible for that? This drop-based rally, right? So presently, what are we looking at? Just using supply and demand. One, we're looking at the market reacting to a CP supply level, right? Right here, daily. And now we have a daily demand nested in the monthly demand, right? High probability demand area. So we know the longer term trend is up. We know the higher time frame is pointing up. So right now we would look for longs, right? If monthly up, weekly up, daily, if daily demand removing supply, obviously daily demand is in control, right? So where's the best place to go long? If we stick into the daily time frame, it would be here, right? Obviously daily demand, right? Stop loss below and take profit to the moon, right? But the price kind of far from we entry. And whenever you're analyzing the market, don't just look for long, look for short, because you want to know if the market had to go short, where would be the best place to enter, right? So if it had to go short, it would probably be here, but the market's already reacting to a CP level, right? But remember this rule, once the market removes one CP level, which is a continuation pattern, which is drop-based drop, then all the CP levels in that impulse is not valid anymore. The only thing that's valid is the peak and valley levels, right? Does time frame matter? Well, the higher time frame works the best, and you want to know who's in control. The higher time frame has more influence. So you would expect the higher time frame to remove a smaller time frame, right? So we know that CP levels are no longer valid because one was removed. So the only level that's valid to go short would be up here, right? The peak levels. But we're not looking for shorts. We're looking for longs, right? Because the market reacting off of demand. So let me drop down one time frame again to see what's going on. We already established that we're going long at the daily demand, right? So some people like to ride the price down to demand before they go long. And like I was saying before, when you establish a nice supply and demand level, it's like a magnet for the market. Because the markets want to go up, and sometimes the money to go up doesn't just come out of nowhere. You know, the market had to find the money. And if this market wants to go up, where would she find the money? Obviously, we know where the money is at, right? Let's see if I get a look at I'm gonna put that money symbol. All right, now we're talking business. All right, so we know where the money there. If this market wanna go to the moon and it don't have enough money to get there, it had to come down and find the buy limits down here to go up, right? So if we wanted to write the price down, so what we do, we look for a lower time frame supply and demand level, right? Let we talk supply. So on the 4-hour, we had this drop, base, we had this drop, base, drop. We had consolidation away. So we know this is the 4-hour CP level, right? Let me change this another color. But you know, you'll just take the whole thing because the level small, you'll just take the whole thing for safety concerns. So based on the analysis we just made, the best place to go short is 4-hour supply, right? 4-hour supply, right? Reacting off daily supply also. But this is a fresh 4-hour supply. If the market don't come up, if the market doesn't come up to react to this level for us to go short, that is fine, right? However, what we truly want is to go long. So we would wait patiently for the market to come down and test this daily supply, demand nested in the monthly demand to take the price up. All right. So the trade would look something like this. You go long here, sorry, go long here. You're gonna be risking some pips, but it's not the pips that matter. It's the risk to reward. Maybe you could even get a lower time frame entry. The first take profit will be 450 pips at the nearest peak. So we're expecting these CP supply to be removed. Right? Your first take profit will be at that first peak supply, and then your second take profit will be at the next level, which will be here, right? This little nice little supplies, this little nice little daily supplies. So potential 900 pips, you know, potential 900 pips. But we're gonna wait and see. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna save this trade, right? So to save the trade, we just click publish so that we could see what happened after. Give it a nice little while. Put this here. TP 1 450 pips. right? As you first take profit, second take profit, 1,300 pips. No, I lie, not 13, 800, 900, 900 pips. So we will publish this. Possible mistake, right? Continue category and we publish it. So now when we check back a few days later, we're gonna see, what happened, And the more you do this, um, the more trading journals you have to look back on to see if your trade ideas was good. So here's the last one I published, right? EURUSD, short in yen here, price went up, consolidate, but then it eventually dropped for what is now, I should have dragged this across some more, but what is now about 300 pips, right? I think we send this trade on March 23rd. But yeah, so you wanna have a nice little history so you can always check back to see, how well the analysis played out, right? So my analysis goes all the way back to February 2019, and this is now my first account. Let's see what I was going on. All of that is when I was learning supply and demand, right? So we see the market, this just a little analysis I posted back in them days, market reacting, coming near the zone and thing, and whatnot. I see somebody else saying something. Why did you go to the 4 hour to get the supplies? Okay, sure. Now, based on the analysis, right, we didn't need a supply zone, but some people might want to ride the price down to this daily entry to go long. Now, to go short, to ride it down, the best places would have been from here, daily supply, but we could already see the price starting to move down, right? Because the price reacting to this daily CP level to go down, right? So the price didn't reach this daily supply, so we couldn't look to go short from there. The price already reacting to the CP level, right? So now, when the price already moving and you want an entry, you drop down to the lower time frames and you do your analysis there to find a lower time frame entry, right? So here we wanted to find the most recent valid supply level. And, we use the trend line tool to figure it out. And we established that this would be the most recent supply level, right? In addition to that, we have a typical head and shoulders. And then we probably have a quarterly figure somewhere inside there, right? Let me just see. Let me see. For price, I do 1.100. Shit. Whatever on this. Okay, nope. We do 1.1. Alright, so we had that there. right? Or we could do 1.1075. There we go. I'll say it's gonna put 1.075. That's how it should be. Yeah. All right. So we have the 3/4 level right here, right by the entry, and we have supply. So the price don't necessarily have to come to the supply level. It doesn't, you know. But if it does, we could take a nice look ride down to we planned entry, right? So that's the analysis on your USD. So we're gonna go short here. Take a look at the chart. This or drop it in the chat and see see what you can do. But yeah, so we'll do one more pair. We'll do one more pair. So somebody recommend it. If you have any questions or anything, USDCHF. Alright. Okay. USDCHF. No, not USD. Alright. So we're gonna take it from the top, right? First thing we do, find the recent supply and demand, the market reacting off of, right? So we can say the market reacted off this demand, actually removed it. So once demand is removed, we could put a nice little pretty gray box, you know, just to let us know that this demand is no longer valid. Let's see. Right? Now, what we do, we find the most recent monthly supply here, responsible for removing that demand, right? Now we drop down to the weekly, see what taking place. All right, so this weekly supply here is responsible for removing this demand, right? However, that supply was removed, so we can put a nice little gray box. And let's see. Weekly supply and demand now. Our weekly supply and demand levels would be around here, right? This would be weekly supply nested in monthly demand. Put that there. Now, as of this moment, the weekly demand level is not present on the chart. It's probably lower down, but I won't go digging up for it right now, right? They go into the daily to see what we find. So the market came up and reacted off the monthly supply that removed this monthly demand, right? So basically, price was here. This was not oh yeah, I mean this could be considered monthly demand because it removed some levels here, right? But basically the price came down and here it removed this demand level. So now we have monthly supply up here, right? And we also have weekly. So here we had weekly supply removed, but the market reacted off of monthly supply, right? Now, the reason why we have this zone here highlighted is because this is a weekly, no, a daily demand, CP level, responsible for removing this weekly supply, right? However, this is also a daily CP level because we had rally, base rally. This is a basing candle. So once this level, first level here is removed, then we cannot use this one because once our CP level is removed, then we could only use the demand, value, and peak levels, right? So this would be the origin that removed the weekly supply, right? So once this gray area here is removed, we cannot use the this one, the one below, right? Okay. So even though we can't use it, that doesn't mean there's no money there, right? We see the market reacted off of that CP level. But the higher probability level would have been below, right? But we get a reaction. So once we get a reaction, we could have dropped down a few lower time frames to find an entry, right? Okay, so let's see. I go back on the daily. Computer slowing down now, but we're gonna add this daily supply here because why? It removed the demand level. This is the demand level that was removed, so this is daily supply, right? I'm gonna leave it there though. So now, what kind of predicament we in here now? We know that monthly supply is in control. That we know. So if the higher time frame supply is in control, we should probably be looking for shots, right? We have the monthly supply, we have the daily supply. right? So we know we're looking for shorts. We know this is the supply and demand curve, right? Basically, this is daily supply, this is daily demand. If the price comes up here, we could go short. If the price comes down here, we can't go long because one, monthly supply is in control. So what we expecting? We expecting this daily demand to be removed, right? We expecting the price to go through that because monthly higher time frame is in control. The only time we can go long is if we get confirmation. So what is confirmation? If the price comes down, makes a breakout structure, right? And then we get a 4 hour, a fresh 4 hour demand or fresh daily demand, then we could go long, right? But the probabilities of this being removed is high. So unless we get confirmation, it can still work. But this type of trade would need confirmation because the higher time frames is pointing down, right? So we're down to the 4 hour. You know, it's always good to come down to the 4 hour, see what's going on, right? You could try and look at fibs, try and look at quarterly levels to see how things line up, right? So here we have a quarterly level of 0.950. Right? So coincidentally, the quarterly level line up with our golden ratio Fibonacci. So if I had to enter the trade, it would look something like this. And wouldn't you know, our negative 27 line up exactly with our daily demand, right? So I'd probably enter early here because, you know, sometimes the price don't always get to those levels. So this would be 4 hour nested supply. Yeah. The chart dirty, but you know, once you have an idea of what's going on, you can clean it up, right? And take profit would be here. But then your take profit would also be open because you're expecting this to be removed, right? So we would look for something like this, right? We would look for price to come up, enter, and go short, right? If we got that confirmation, it would look something like this. We have boom, boom, right? Boom, boom, boom. So you would have that trend line break, right? You had a trend line break. So now you have fresh demand, lower time frame demand, and you could go long at that area, right? So yeah, so the best place to enter USDCHF is to wait for the short. But yeah, man. So I hope this little analysis kind of help y'all with y'all trading. We will do some more, you know. But we will do it. This time I did it slow pace because it was more like a lesson explaining the whole process. But definitely next time, like you had to be able to do all of this in like 5 minutes, because when you're going through like 30 pairs, you want to be able to go through all of this. Well, you wouldn't really have to start from the top because once you do your analysis once, you leave everything on the chart. So you don't have to do it all over again, So when you're flying through your pairs, you just spend like 3, 5 minutes on each one. And then whichever one's closest to your entry, those are the ones you're gonna pay attention to. But yeah, so we'll lock it off now, If y'all want me to do this again or do this more often, drop it in the chat or shout me out on Instagram because we're trying to build something big, and we having a meeting tomorrow at 3. So jump on and I'll give all this a lot of valuable information on how you could make a lot more money for the next few months and even years and even build a legacy for your family, right? So I'll lock it off here. Have a good night and stay safe. Don't go outside. All right, Julie.